I'm Chris, and this is my Traxxas T MAXX restoration video. So the video kind of took a little weird turn because I bought 4 of these to build 2, and it turned out this one with the yellow body was the old school 0.15. And I bought a body that we were supposed to restore in this video, but it ended up being the long wheelbase body. I bought it from Traxxas. I had no idea. So we didn't end up restoring that yellow body, but you'll see what we ended up putting on there. But in the future, we will have that yellow body with the correct wheelbase. All right, so let's check this restoration out. I love this yellow one so much. I bought a body that I'm gonna paint. Something about the red springs, blue chassis, yellow body is just a nice combination. I also like these stock wheels on here. And I paid $135. Alrighty then, so the gas tank. This one has Phillips screws. Remember, there are Japanese or Asian Phillips screws, and then there are American Phillips screws. Okay, so it has easy start on it. The plug works, but the engine's locked up, so don't try to start it like that. Look down the carburetor. There's a rotating carburetors. It feels good. That's a good sign. All right, let's check it. Is it good? All right, glow plug's good. Beautiful. So what you want to do now is you want to go ahead and pour some fuel down the carburetor and down the glow plug hole. Counterclockwise. Let's see if it starts moving. Oh, it's not. Let's just pull the engine off of this. So we got this just completely loose. Yeah, I love the Traxxas Easy Start. It is so good. Okay, so I'm still pretty new to the T MAXX, so I'll still put on my screws back where I got them. Remember to try to turn it. Oh, this thing is locked up bad. All right, so now we can test the Easy Start. Beautiful. Now we got all the stuff off of it, we can apply some heat to it. Around the bearings. So it should start turning. Oh, it is, look. It did. There you go. So this is very, very good, but we still have to take it completely apart. Let's do it. Get the head off. So what you do now, you go ahead and pour more fuel down it. As soon as it starts to cover the passage, put your fingers. Man, this thing's like brand new. And they'll suck your finger. Man, this is like a brand new engine. Or well taken care of engine. Okay, so I cleaned this stuff in Berry Chem Dip, and it will take off the TRX 15, but it just does such a good job, I'm willing to take that risk. It will not take the anodization off if you just leave it in there for 30 minutes. All right, so does it have a gasket? They sell the gasket, but none of these have gaskets on them. All right, so the exhaust, everything looks good on that. Just clean it up. All right, so I was reading about those little clutch feet. All right, that's a factory style. It's better to leave them in there like that, but if you want it to grip better, you flip those around. That was puzzling me, but all this looks good. Let's see if it comes off easy. It does. That's a good sign. All right. Oh, this thing looks good. Look, it looks really good. All right, inspect a little play on that bushing. Everything looks good. Does it have a little gasket in there? It does. Cool. I'm assuming he was doing the after run procedure because these bearings are not all gummed up. Try and look for that cage and make sure that cage is walking. If that cage is moving, it's good. We're just gonna spray WD-40. The WD-40 kind of cleans the bearings off a little bit, so you can hear if they're bad. They sound perfectly fine. So this sets your idle gap. Let's see where he had it. Okay, he had it normal, good. Just avoid unloosening that, because then you're gonna have to reset everything over, and that can be annoying. There's a little spring in there. Alrighty then, so this is just all in the Berry Chem Dip, 30 minutes. Okay, so I had no idea all this dirt was in here, but all the screws are coming off really good. Okay, so then these support braces are tied right into the transmission. They bolt each other up. I had no idea. Try to get as much crap off as I can. I take these to the sink, let them soak with some green magic or purple power, stuff like that. So I can't vacuum this up yet because there's little spiders. That's the second one. I don't want to kill that little guy. So one of the things I really like about this T MAXX so far is that the front and rear control arms are the same. So you can use these on the front or the back. So the shocks, it uses 8. They're the same shock all the way around, oil filled. I mean, obviously it's dirty, but nothing's bent on it. None of those pins are bent through there. Everything is in really, really good shape. All right, still good. We got everything everything cleaned and barium chem dip, let's go ahead and assemble the engine. So the barium chem dip will not take anodization off, but it will take off that little 0.15 sticker. Oil this stuff up as soon as you can. This is some 2-stroke oil. Put some down the carburetor, make sure it gets all in that front bearing. So this is a wipe down clean tub. I'm going to get some oil on this starter shaft. Everything feels good. On the 0.15 there's a little gasket, a little thin clear gasket. Make sure it's lined up. You're going to line up your shaft. You only have one position on this one. That's straight up and down. Make sure that gasket's in line. Just there you go. Hold it in place, spin it, make sure it's engaged. It feels right. Okay, everything feels good. Just kind of torque them all evenly tight. So we have an easy start ready to go, but sometimes this can be in the way, so we're not going to put it on there yet. We have the one-way bearing. We oiled this up. It started working. I have a brand new one, but why change it if that's still working? You're going to be restoring these. Make sure you get you plenty extra coated washers. Okay, so on this head there is an orientation because you can see where that little head gasket was riding on that little alignment tab. So this was purple like that already. I don't know if it just changed color or if this was the original one. I have no idea. Okay, so these little clutches, depending on which direction you put them on, they're going to act fast or act slow. So the engine spins counterclockwise. So if we put it on like this, it's going to be fast acting, and like this, it's going to be slower acting. I like slower acting for this clutch. So the bearings, I just wipe them down real good, test them. I was making curry ranch chicken last night. That's not fungus on my nails. Make sure it spins free. A little bit of play back and forth. All this ready to go. Let's get that carburetor built. All right, so on the carburetor, you don't need to take that little lever off unless you want to readjust it. We're gonna get some oil up in here, WD-40, and just get it in its place. It's gonna be like right there. So just make sure it's clean, it's not crunchy. Plenty of oil in there. I had one that got all screwed up. Everything feels good. Let's get that spring in there. It's gonna go. We'll just tighten it a little bit more. See our little gaps coming up now. So just be careful. This little gasket likes to get squished too much and squish out. Be careful. We'll adjust this once it's on the vehicle. All right, so the low speed is just flat with that part. If you don't understand what that means, if you take the little handle off, you can see that part right there, and they're just talking about making it flat like that. And then you put the handle back on. That's the little handle part. All of our engine screws cleaned up perfect in that barium chem dip. I have a video where I built this transmission. And remember, you have these Asian style Phillips if you're having trouble with your American Phillips screwdriver not tightening or gripping these screws. So I went ahead and got the brake on there. All that stuff has thoroughly went through. I had to take the little joints out. They're completely filthy. We have adjusted super tight. It's like a millimeter. All right, so now we need to get these little slipper pegs out. These are worn down. Oh, maybe they're not. They still have a little bit of life in them. I bought these new ones just in case, but these are still good. Make sure you find the part that was riding on it. Everything looks flat. Spring. Okay, so the adjustment on this older one, I think you tighten it all the way down and then it's only out a quarter turn. So you see that 7, it's gonna turn out a quarter turn like that and it should be good. Let's see if it's straight. Looks good. So I wanted to show you the tricky stuff. Let me go ahead and start building this, and we'll just stop and focus on maybe filling the shock oil and routing the electronics and stuff like that. We see everything's just been cleaned and it's ready to go. Go ahead and pull this back. Let's check the shock oil. Okay, they're good. All right, so we can just top this off. Let's test the shock out. Does it feel good? Oh my God, it feels really, really good. Nice. So I went ahead and reused the servos. The steering one might have to be changed. So we can't use this one on there. This one will work, but the wire's too short on it. So I'm kind of stuck having to use the quadruple AA, which is fine. So in the electricity world, up is on, down is off. All right, we see how that looks. That looks perfect. On, down is off. Okay, throttle, brake, turn, that's in backwards, and then, oh, we got a shift. I mean, third channel shift. See, it's in reverse. Go over. Clean this up the best that I could. It looks okay. All right, so for the fuel tank, it's all cleaned up now, looking good. This line pulls out of the bottom. to the carburetor. So the throttle line is very important. You have a straight shot, and it's very comfortable. It's pretty close, but I'm gonna make one bend on it, and then we'll try to start this thing up. All right, so the 0.15, which it is a 2.48, is a smaller carburetor, so it's its own thing. This thing will start up. This is live. This is the first time cold start. I've not heard this run yet after the build. Oh my God. This is live. This is not fake or anything. All right. That's crazy how it started up like that. All right, it ain't starting now. All right, glow plug's good. So the only thing that's not making sense is this fuel. This was in a tank I bought on one of these cars. There's no telling how long it was in there. I guess that was stupid to put that in there. All right, so this is actually the first one I've seen it's not running right. But this pipe is throwing a whole bunch of oil out. Look at that. Maybe we're way too rich. All right. So I've only been into these for about a month, and this pipe is leaking oil from right here. So I think we need to change this. That's so weird. I have one from a Nitro Sport. Let me change that out. All right, so whenever I was trying to turn this thing off, I noticed that it was having a hard time. So I took the exhaust apart, and look what I found. It's all melted in there. So that's why it was blowing all out of the sides, because it's being restricted out the tailpipe. I'm not sure what happened. I think we could just stick a screwdriver in here and break this crap up. I don't know. Okay, there you go. There's your problem. So you've never seen the inside of one. That's all it is. So we found that. It was in fact restricted. Let's get another exhaust pipe. All right, let's see if it'll start up now. I think this carburetor is weird. All right, let's clean it out. Yeah. It's blowing oil out. All right, so this has been warming up in the sun. It's just lacquer, silver paint. Hopefully we can recreate that. Just spray a little bit on the back to see if it's gonna work or we're gonna have any reactions. It could react. All right. So we're just gonna let that dry real good. Come back, about 3 coats of this stuff. It's heating outside in the sun. It's 95 degrees outside. So the body that I bought ended up being an extra long one. So we're gonna try to save this one. We're just gonna do apple red. It's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna look okay. But what have I learned so far? That this is the original one. This is the 0.15 cubic inch with the purple head on there, and this is still 2.45 cubic centimeters. But the dead giveaway on the early one is this style muffler right here. And that linkage right there is going to look weird because it's a rotating carburetor on the 0.15. So I thought that I had 2 of these and 2 of the later ones. It turned out that other one that I bought, look at that exhaust right there, was a 2.5. Even though it was an early one, it was not that early. See, this is a 2.5. If somebody did all that aluminum stuff on there, and see how the exhaust exits right there. This is an original body from back in the days. He just never painted it. I just painted it. We're about to take the clear film off. I have to buy another short body to do the yellow one, because this is going to be yellow like this, but brand new looking. So check out everything. It's super duper clean in there. I tried using the original servos. They tested well, but the steering servo is bad. So I have this one ready to put on there. This is why we can't test drive it. We'll start it up and I'll show you this thing runs like a brand new car. It's actually not as perfect as it looks. It has some scratches on it, and he put the window stickers over the clear film, so I was not able to save those. Like I said, the 2.5 has a side exhaust right here, so I don't want this body at all. I'm just going to give it away to somebody. Notice the old school body clips are very small. Let's go ahead and run them old school body clips. Well, let's get this film off. I have no idea if this is going to look good or not. It already looks good. Let's just see. Oh, if it looks good, maybe I'll just keep it. Oh, it looks brand new. I was not expecting, oh my goodness. I was not expecting this. Well, I'll still give it away to somebody, but still not the, what? This stuff has been on here for like 20 years. He never took it off. Oh my goodness, this body is brand new. So he did have the stickers over the film, and I took them off to have the templates. If I decide to keep this body, it looks like I might. Oh my God, I do have the sticker sheet right here. But he used the, oh, what the heck? All right, so let's get these bumpers on real quick. These are usually always stripped. So one of these kits came with extra aluminum bumpers. I don't like running metal parts on these RC cars. But what I like about Traxxas, it has that RPM brand. It's just like a fatter, beefier version. So as restoring these things, is it worth it, or should you go buy a brand new one? I mean, I actually bought 4 of them and spent about as much as I could have bought a brand new one for $469. But with those used ones that I bought, I got their tools, I got parts, I got fuel, you know, igniters, the starter ones. So to me, it's better to build them. That way I learn everything about them, because the last thing I want to do on YouTube is, well, I don't know, it must be the speed nut hitting the jammer screws. It'll always fascinate me, people that never take the time to learn this stuff, and they'll be an old man saying stupid things that don't make any sense. I think that slipper clutch needs to be adjusted some more. Well, that's why when we restored this, we adjusted the slipper clutch, and now we don't have to anymore. You see that bumper? All that's looking real good. This is a cold start. So I want you to see that, 87 degrees. The wall is even hotter. I was having a lot of problems with this carburetor. The factory settings are 2.5 turns out on the high-speed needle, and that was running way too rich, and I could never get this thing to idle right. And just kind of tighten them back, it still seems like it's running super rich, but at least it's not dying. So we have a Fly Sky 6-channel in there. 2 of those with 2 receivers came in one of these lots that I bought. We're just going to start this thing. See that servo? Stop. We're going to see if it goes into reverse. Look. Stop. It's in reverse. Stop. Forward. All right, I don't like stopping them, plugging them. It loads them up with fuel. Sometimes you have to do that. So in other words, if you're having trouble with these RC cars and you're stopping it like that every time, you need to pinch the fuel line right by the carburetor. And when it stops like that, it'll usually start right back up the first time. Let's see if this one starts up. See how it did start right back up? We gotta give it throttle. See, because it loaded up. All right, so pinching the fuel line. See, it should only take 3 seconds, and it took a little bit longer. That's why I'm saying it's running rich, but I'm just gonna leave it like that until I do the testing outside. So let's watch this thing start up real quick whenever you pinch the fuel line. You can't do that to any engine, but these Traxxas engines, they love that. So, look. So on the Traxxas engines, I highly recommend pinching the fuel line over stopping them like that. Now some engines you have to stop them like that, because if you pinch them back, they start going insane. All right, so just remember to turn this off. Always turn that off. There's probably 12 hours involved with this. It's not easy, it's not fun. This one, we had to go through the transmission and inspect every single little tiny thing. But you see now it goes into forward and reverse with no problems. It was giving me problems at first, I'm not gonna lie, and I had problems with this carburetor, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, there you go. Traxxas T MAXX restoration. We're gonna have videos running this thing and figuring it out, and in the future we're gonna have a video building a long one with a big block on it. You can see I got a bunch of big block stuff right here. Well, there we go, Traxxas T MAXX restoration. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.